Okay, so we've been working a lot on political ideology, like where people get their ideas from when it comes to politics and so on. And I want us to kind of work on that a bit this week. So you're going to have to use your time in here wisely today, and I would say next Tuesday. You're going to need to use your remote time wisely. A little bit of time management pieces here as well. So this is what we're going to do. Okay. If we go to this week, and there's some typical assignments here. Watch a video, do some reading, take a mini quiz. Okay, so we get educated on the ideology of the political parties. We're mostly talking Democrat, Republican, but Libertarian will come up too. If there's a third party that's kind of big, it doesn't really fit into the mold of either. It's the Libertarian Party. Okay, there's other ones that, like the Green Party, they tend to be more liberal. Most members of the Green Party will probably pick the Democratic candidate. Okay, typically is one example of that. Okay. Party that will kind of go that way. Libertarian Party, though, you're going to find is left, right. They kind of run on a whole different axis, perhaps. Okay. And then when we look at ideology, that leads to policy making. Remember, policies are not just making laws. Policies are executive orders. Policies are what a president chooses to enforce or not enforce as much. Okay. So there's laws that are pretty liberal laws. President Trump may not spend a lot of effort and more importantly money enforcing those laws. Okay, so keep that in mind. And then ideology and economic policy, and then we're going to do one more next week, which is ideology and social policy. And I'll have some stuff up for that by the end of the week. Okay, social policies are things like abortion, religion in schools, maybe religious freedom, things like get into more social policy, things that deal with family, Family Leave Act is a social policy, for example. Okay, and we'll have an assignment that's it's due next week. We'll tie into that. Okay, my plan is for the test to be the week of the 9th. Now that's tricky because Wednesday is typically a remote day, but Wednesday is a holiday. So all I'll probably do is I'll probably release it Monday, so that Tuesday and give you that extra day in case you were not planning on, doing anything on your holiday. I usually take Veterans Day, Columbus Day as an opportunity to catch up on things, but I didn't want to, treat it like a full remote day when it technically is a holiday. So an extra day for the test. We're going to do it online. I will talk more about the test next week, but the multiple choice will have a timed section this time, meaning I'm going to give you X number of time, and you've got to do it in one sitting. So the last test, it was resumable. You can do a few questions, take a day, come back. So whenever you decide to do it over the course of those few days, you've got it done one sitting. The FRQ, my plan is that it still be kind of open. You have a little more time to pick and choose. And I might have 2 questions instead of 1 that time I decided. But I just wanted you kind of aware of that we're going to start to work on the timing piece a little bit with multiple choice. So you've got some assignments around that. The progress check due next Friday. Okay. I know I'm getting into more next week now. And the review is due, on the 12th, which will be the last day of the test, the vocab review. Has anyone started working on their vocab? Probably not. Maybe you didn't see it. Now you know it's there. Start working on the vocab, chunk it away. But where we're going to focus today is you're going to probably need to do the first couple of lessons, but this week and next, okay, we're going to do like a little mini project. You're going to work on a poster template and making it your own. So let me kind of explain it a little bit, and we'll kind of go from there. Those who maybe took U.S. history with me last year, we did something similar at the end of the year. So you're going to be learning about over the next few lessons. So today might just be get on and you work on those video readings and take the mini quiz and start to get an idea But what we're going to do is give you time to work and learn, and then you're going to make a poster. Now, there's a template to it, okay? I have just a couple of key elements that have got to be there. And that really is the political spectrum, okay? That, you know, conservative is more to the right. You've been learning about conservative versus liberal. These are ideologies. These are not parties. And political parties can, over time, shift their ideology. Okay, when the Republican Party first came out in the 1850s, it probably was the more liberal of the two parties. Today it's not. Okay, and the Democratic Party is probably the more conservative of the two parties in the 1850s. Today, there's been a there's been a real switch there, over the last 160 something years. Okay, so this is the poster template. You can change the background, things like that. The directions are over here. You can work with others, no more than 3 other people, a group of no bigger than 4, okay, total, all right? And so you can decide over that over the next few days. You can work with people from the other cohort, you can work with people from 6th period. So you're cherry 3rd period, and you're working with a friend who is like gray 6th period. I totally fine with that, okay? We've talked about group things before. Some of us don't come through, and you're seniors now, and you might say, you know, if Olivia says to Sam, like, hey, we work together, she's like, yeah, we did that last year, and you like, oh, I think I'm just gonna work. We're good, okay? We have to kind of get to that point. Okay. We have to get to that point where I don't want to hear like this didn't work out. Okay. Group work is one of those things that, quite frankly, collaboration is an important skill in life. Okay. This, I know there's this whole thing of individual grades. That happens all the time. Okay. All right. Every time a student has something late, I'm grading, like it's affecting me. Okay. So every time a student has something late or doesn't do it, like I have to have extra meetings or why they're not graduating. We have an impact on other people. Okay. And it may not seem fair, but it is what it is. So choose what you get to choose in this case, which is great. That's awesome. And you're just going to take this and make a copy, share it with everybody. I do have some requirements on, I think I have in the instructions, but here too. But basically, basically, you should get rid of copy of. Whenever you make a copy of something, you get rid of the copy of part. Okay. I know people share me documents with a copy of, because they copy it from someone else's copy. Like seriously. And then you just tweak the name to include the group members' names, at the end of it, like in parentheses or just after it. I don't care. Probably good to share it with me, which I have here in the directions. You can do that. However, at the end, each and every one of you is going to submit a copy of the poster, okay, in school. So I know that we're going to get 4 copies of the same poster. That's okay. And we know that everybody has done it. Now, this graphic it says to create a poster that demonstrates the 2 major political parties and their typical place along the political spectrum. You're also encouraged to include some 3rd parties if possible. Libertarian is probably a really good one, because you're going to find they're liberal on this and conservative on that. You might have it in a couple different places, okay? But you definitely want to have the Democrats and Republicans in here. It should include words and visuals that are mostly very carefully curated. Okay, I know the visuals probably will be curated. You can create your own, but you can curate. It's like you choose. You go to a museum, the person in charge of the exhibits is called the curator. They don't just randomly choose, like, give me a couple of Monets, we'll throw those on the wall. They think a lot about how they're going to work overall. So when you do a Google image search, you don't grab the first image necessarily. You give some thought to, why I'm choosing this one. You look through at least some of the choices, okay? It can be original pictures, visuals can be images, like pictures, maps, graphs, anything that kind of illustrates where the party stands on things, okay? And then in there, it should include how the party stands on the role of the federal government, how they stand on at least one economic issue. So doing the economic policy ideology lesson will really help you understand those issues. One social issue, I haven't put that lesson out, but I will. Okay, you can start working on this without that. And then another issue of your choosing, you're like, give me a second economic issue, a second social issue, or whatever. I'm not sure where the environment falls in this. I want to do something with climate change or whatever. Okay. All right. It says the poster must include a quote and what so you got your images and words that somehow creatively express where the two sides are, okay, on these issues. And then it must include a quote and a picture of whoever said it that sums up the big ideals of the party. Okay, and I can offer some suggestions as you're working along. Some of our presidents really summed up, conservatism of the Republican Party, and some really summed up the Democratic Party. There's some other folks that have done that. And so you want to think carefully about that. The poster should be nonpartisan. Now, what does that mean? It means if you're going to present the Republican Party in a certain light, kind of do the same as the Democrats. What we don't want is a poster that, it's like, Donald Trump with like a pitchfork and horns on his head, and, we got St. Joe Biden over here, or, vice versa. Okay? So you want to put a political cartoon critical of Biden, there's probably should be one critical of Trump. Okay? It needs to be, I should probably the word not is not nonpartisan. It should be balanced. It's like an educational piece. Follow me? Okay. That is something that we want to work towards. It's not just take away from your views or deny you your views. It's more we're trying to learn about kind of typically where their ideologies are. Okay. And that's not always the case. Not every Republican is, completely against abortion. There are other pro-choice Republicans out there. Not every Democrat is fully for abortion. There's a number of pro-life Democrats out there. Okay, and so you want to understand that with the issues too. By the way, if you're trying to figure out your own political identity, okay. And it needs to be visually appealing as well as informative. Okay, so probably need to change colors and things and in fact, over here, this is all, by the way, the directions are off poster. So like if we were to say printed, we wouldn't print that. Group members' names, okay, put them there. I'm also going to ask for them somewhere else if you go back to the directions. I know I'm being a pain about that, but it gives me an idea ahead of time. Formatting notes, feel free to change this. So I want this political spectrum included, but you're like, I don't like a white blue set of arrows. I want to change the color of that. And you're not sure how to do that, I can help you. You want to change the fonts, you knock yourself out. You might want to make one red and one blue. I don't know. Okay. I actually just went with the defaults, except for the fonts. I'm kind of a font stuff, so probably better font. Okay. And then this doesn't have to be in the middle either. You might want to say, we're going to put this at the top and the bottom so we have more room to work on things, and so on and so forth. Sometimes you do too much is too much, okay? You put in like a really busy background and it's really hard to read. So you want to think about those things kind of at the end. So you want to kind of go from there, all right? Questions on that, okay? Going back to the directions, when you get a chance or you figure out your group, and like I said, this might be, at the end of the week once you talk to some friends, do the Google form. So, and all I'm asking is like who you are and who are you working with, okay? And have everybody, do your own display it safe and kind of go from there. Any kind of questions on that? So you got to do some learning first. You got to work on some of the assignments to kind of get there, okay? And my plan is next Monday, we're going to touch base and talk about them. I'll probably have the social policy assignment up no later than tomorrow. I might even get it up today while you're working. Working, get that up and kind of go from there. Okay. This is where you can work with people too. Like let's work through 4.8 or 4.7. We can do that together. We can watch and talk about the video together. Or I read this, you read this. What did you get out of this? Kind of go from there. Okay. You can work in a group of one. It's more work, but you certainly can do that. Okay, and that might be, great. Question, comments, concerns. Seniors, we can do this, right? Okay, you might want to start too by messaging people, hey, check out this person, this mini project. You take a look at it and work together. I'm sure your friends are out of bed by now. But it's a very cheap spot. Right, you'd be out of bed by now, by 9. Okay, right? Maybe you're always still on it. Okay. So reach out to them, so when they do wake up later, they're like, oh, hey, the text would be awesome. Like, oh, it's about 5. All right, get going on it, and you might, like I said, want to start with 4.7 and kind of go from there, or you might want to start thinking about, some things about the parties already, and you want to get going on that.